Sharon, are you here with us? Yes.
Hi, this is Neal with Graveside Paranormal Tours, GravesideParanormal.com, Graveside Paranormal on YouTube. How's everybody liking the tour tonight? Adam, are you here? Talk to us.
Hello everyone, this is Neal with Spirits by the Graveside, presented by Graveside Paranormal. Tonight, we are going to talk about Bigfoot. From the Sasquatch Highway, I have Ken with me tonight, and we're going to talk about. But first off, as always, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this show off right. Grab your favorite drink. Tonight, I have kombucha. Like last week, I had kombucha. I just want to stay well for this next couple weeks. I don't want any problems walking into the new show that we're going to be doing over in Blue Island. So a toast to everyone. God bless you all. Take that sip from whatever you like, and let us begin. In the news today, it's only 15 more days till Halloween. In our event at Blue Island, Spirits by the Full Moon will proceed. From 8 o'clock till about 2 a.m. in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Miss Wendy Moxley Rowe out there signing books for Haunted Joliet Prison. We are also going to have an angel card reader. We are going to be having a costume investigation party. We are going to give you guys equipment, and we're going to have a good time. And at midnight, for the first time ever, we are going to be doing scrying at midnight under a full moon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's under a full moon. There are only 14 tickets left. So hopefully we'll be sold out in time for that. And interesting enough, I got a phone call from a Miss Eileen Lacey. She's the daughter of Mary Lacey, one of the previous owners of the Forge. She filled me in with a lot of different information about it, of that some missing information that we really needed, that we were looking for. In the basement area that we have heard things like yelling of a girl. Supposedly there were tunnels back from the Prohibition era. She is telling me that Al Capone's brother, which one, either it was Frank or Ralph, they had tunnels leading to a farm where they would bring in prostitutes and they would bring in bottles of booze. Very familiar story in a lot of the bars in the whole south side of Chicago. Take, for instance, the Irish Legend. People are familiar that we've done things at the Irish Legend. Very familiar stories. One of the things is that her mother, Miss Mary Lacey, she tells of a story. I guess Miss Mary Lacey is a very strong, older Irish woman. And I know something about that. I knew of a lady like that, my mom, who was like that as well. And she didn't take no guff. And she's telling us a story of how she was sleeping at night and she could hear crying of someone. And when she looked, it was a man or a young man with like a crew cut. Could this have been the man that's crying that we've caught on our SLS and heard the story, the legendary story of that he hung himself, committed suicide on the main floor near the men's washroom, which was originally a cooler, that I'm being told now. Could that have happened? I love that Miss Eileen Lacey gave me a call and reached out to me. That was very nice of her. Very nice of her mother, Mary Lacey. So I say thank you very much for helping us out with that information. So let's move on to the next thing in news. Car washes are now haunted houses in Ohio. That sounds really cool. So supposedly in Ohio, they are converting car washes into haunted houses. That's a pretty cool idea. I think that's something that's pretty good and original, and I hope they do very, very well on that. But now we are going to lead into, 1 second, let me get this going. Bigfoot. Found this nice little tune. Let's listen to it for a moment.
Deep in the woods where the mysteries grow, there's a place where nobody goes. And if you decide to go there alone, beware of the beast that makes it say that a creature lives there with gigantic feet all covered in hair. And those who have seen it just run away scared. It looks like a man that's been crossed with a bear. Deep in the unknown, far away from home, something strange just can't be explained. Be careful where you roam.
Bigfoot. A small news item in 1958 led to the modern version of Bigfoot. The name Sasquatch was created in the Canadian folklore and American folklore. So I have from the Sasquatch Highway, Ken from Portland, Oregon, to talk to us about Bigfoot. Welcome, Ken. How are you today, buddy?
Doing good, Neal. You?
I'm doing great. Did you like that song?
I did. It was kind of hit and miss with me a little bit because I'm an old guitar player, but hey,
Yeah.
it did sound good.
Yeah, I didn't complete the whole song. It goes on for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I thought it was a really cool little tune. So I was wondering, how did you...
I like a lot of the other music you play too, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, we try to... I'm a guy who likes a lot of rock and roll, heavy metal. I do like listening to nice tunes. Like, I'm a big Elvis guy. I like Elvis. I love Elvis. I like all kinds of music, actually. So, you know, I try to do a blend of certain things.
I'm a fusion guitar player myself, but that's not the topic tonight, bud.
No, sir, that is not the topic tonight. Do you know, Ken, I have been looking for a guy who knows to talk about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, all those many names, and I have you tonight. So let's begin. How did you, Ken, get into learning about Bigfoot? What happened in your life? You see, everything in somebody's life, something happened. So tell us about it.
Okay, well, it started with when I was about 6.5 years old. My mom and dad were divorced when I was 4 years old. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I spent a lot of time up at my great-grandma and grandparents' farm out in Estacada, Oregon, along Highway 224. And anybody can look it up. I don't care about names or anything like that. There's nothing to hide on this. Otherwise, I would be talking about it too much.
Okay.
But if you look, anybody looks up along Highway 224, there's a rifle range right before you get into Estacada along Highway 224. And there's an old green and white farmhouse. They used to have cherry orchards, apple trees, all types of stuff. They raised Christmas trees. I bought hay up there, all types of stuff. But if you look on there, you can see it. And originally, why they started, most people don't know, why they started putting in a lot of rifle ranges and stuff up around that area is because gunfire kind of drives that all the critters kind of away a little ways.
Okay.
But when I was growing up there, one morning we woke up, we were getting up, I was born in 1967. Let's date myself a little bit here.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm 53 now, so 6 to 7 years after 1967, my sister and I were getting ready, getting up for breakfast, and my grandma was making scrambled eggs, bacon, toast for Grandpa, and my great-grandpa was gonna put that toast in milk with a little bit of sugar and some cinnamon on it.
Man.
I remember that.
You're getting me tasty, man. Come on.
It was great. I love that type of stuff still to this day.
All right.
Hardly ever get it anymore unless I make it myself, but
Right.
that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I remember my sister and I were playing in the living room in front of the fireplace, and my grandpa came out of his bedroom carrying the old side-by-side double double barrel 12 gauge.
Okay.
And he folded it up and went out the back door, and my grandma said, "Where are you going with that?" And he's like, "There's a bear in the backyard." And we used to raise wolf dogs. Chief at that time was actually a full-bred Oregon Timberwolf.
Nice.
And then we had a couple of other ones that were wolf hybrids after Chief had passed and passed on some of his offspring to a German Shepherd.
Okay.
So we had a few others, but Chief was going off, and I remember running to the back window, looking out, and I looked out the window as my great grandpa was pumping around up in the air, and I turned to my sister going, "There's a bear in the backyard," and he's standing up, and she's like, "What does he look like?" Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like Smokey the Bear, but he's not wearing pants.
That's a funny story. I have to be honest with you.
I never thought a damn thing about it. I mean, come on. I was 6, 7 years old.
Why doesn't Smokey the Bear have his pants on? What is going on?
He didn't have his pants on. And he wasn't holding a shovel either, just saying.
Just saying.
But I never really thought a damn thing about it. And like a minute and a half later, I heard one more shotgun round go off. Mm-hmm. My grandpa came back in the house and said, "It's gone." And my grandma and grandpa would never talk to me about it, never have to this day. And, well, they've both been gone for like 20, damn near 30 years now on one of them. But 20 years for my grandpa, he passed after my great-grandmother did. Mm-hmm. And then, if I can, I'll just jump to the next one.
You know what? No, you know what?
About that.
Go ahead.
My next one was when I was 11, still in Portland, because that's where we lived, but on weekends or like a week or two, we'd go up to my great-grandmother's house up in Estacada before they passed and sold the farm. Mm-hmm. When I was 11, same sister, we were jumping on a trampoline across from 152nd and Division. Mm-hmm. And if anybody wants to look on maps, what used to be behind the Fred Meyers, that's located on 148th on the corner of Southeast Division, that used to all be a field, and then Lynch Park grade school, which my sister and I went to at that time. But before that, there was nothing. Mm-hmm. And then behind that to the southwest or southeast corner was Meadowland Dairy. And this one evening we were all playing, myself, my sister, and probably about 10 to 11 other kids playing on this guy named John's trampoline that he had on the corner of 149th. And we were all jumping on this one trampoline. We heard a bunch of car skids and stuff like that. And right before we heard the crashes, we were all starting to jump off the trampoline, going to see what was happening. Then we started hearing crashing. And like myself and, 6 or 7 other kids were standing in the middle of the street looking at these cars just crashing, and we thought we saw a bear. And then all of a sudden it stood up and took off running faster than an Olympic sprinter.
So it stood straight up?
Yeah, and the one that I saw that I mentioned when I was 6 or 7 was the bear was probably about 7.5, maybe 8 feet tall.
Now, how big is usually a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot?
The typical is a young one. Well, they grow up like you and I.
Okay.
Then I don't know. I don't know what the typical is. I can say what I've seen, which would max about 8.5 to 9 feet tall.
Okay, yeah, that's usually what most people say. So you believe that sometimes there's families of these Bigfoot, Yetis, or Sasquatches? Do they usually?
I think there's probably clans.
Okay.
I don't know about Native American lore. They say they live in clans. I say a clan because I think it's at least a family group.
Mm-hmm.
But they're until like older boys get old enough to where dad's like, you got to get out of here. That part I don't know.
Okay. Now, are usually when you see them, they have black hair, correct?
I've seen 2 with black and 1 with a dark brown.
A dark brown. Would you think? Would you be able to distinguish the difference between a male and a female Sasquatch or Bigfoot?
Males, I haven't noticed, like, well, you and I are guys.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
We'll just leave it at that.
I haven't seen any of that, but I have seen one with what looked like breasts.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is because when I'm getting into colors of fur or hair, I'm wondering because I really don't know. Are females usually have lighter hair, do you think? Or do they have darker hair? Or do males have the darker hair? Is that kind of a small distinguishment?
That I don't know, but the female I saw had lighter hair.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
She was dark brown.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. And so when you see the small little children Sasquatches, and you're saying they're just like you and I or any kind of family that, they're out there doing what they're supposed to be doing in life, and you've seen some of the little children one?
No, I've never seen any of the little ones. I've only seen, like, the shortest one I ever saw was about 8 feet tall, and that was a female.
Okay, so maybe that was like...
I've seen 2 very big males.
Okay. And how close were you...
The first one was Smokey the Bear.
Yeah. Now, what is the closest you've ever been to a Sasquatch?
The closest, probably... I'd say when I was 6 or 7, that was probably like 75 feet.
Well, that's pretty close. But
I thought that was a bear at that time, but now I know different.
Right.
I still have that visual imprint in my brain, and that was no bear.
Right. You know what? Everybody, you're able to distinguish things when you kind of get close. Like, you're only 75 feet away, and you're like, nah, that don't look like no bear. So that's pretty interesting that you say that. When you're walking through the woods, and I'm assuming that you walk through the woods a lot. Am I correct on that?
All the time, and I hope you can show some of those pictures that I've sent you, and I can send you many more.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna put up those throughout the show for our viewers to show what the things that you've come across. One of the questions I have though is, when you're walking through the woods, do you ever come past something that looks like some kind of housing, or some kind of tent or a teepee that maybe they built? That identifies that certain.
Another thing, because I think I told you I lost my old phone because my wife that's laying pretty close to me. We went rafting a month and a half ago, right? About a month and a half ago, we went rafting, and I had my old phone, and I had tons of pictures, which are still on her phone. So some of that she's going to send me to my phone, and I can share that with you too.
Okay.
Hopefully soon, right? And the structures, send it to my phone. Well, we have found structures up in the Gibbons Pinchot National Forest up in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And a few other things, and I'll send that to you here in a little bit too, just so that you can add that if you want to. Or just add it later, however you want to do that.
Okay. Do you believe that...
yeah, we found a TV structure one time not too far down the road, there's bent, twisted trees. Right next to it, you can see what either got trampled by elk or something else. So we're always checking stuff out.
Okay. Now, when you're out there and you're roaming around, do you sometimes identify Sasquatches by smell? Is there a certain smell that the minute that you're walking through and all of a sudden you smell something, you go, uh-oh, one might be around here?
Yeah. It smells kind of like I don't know, dirty dog.
Okay.
But sometimes that might also be the family dog that's with me.
Okay.
But it smells more like an old billy goat.
Really, an old billy goat. Okay, that's cool, man. I love hearing
that's the best way to describe that.
No, explain.
It's very smelly. Imagine you and I don't take a bath for a month and a half.
Dear Lord on that.
And you're going to and grow some hair and then add that to that, and you're going to be one smelly thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of that smell.
Yeah, I'm out in the woods all the time. I've done a lot of hunting, fishing, camping. I've seen a lot, and I don't know, there's no way to describe that type of feeling, let alone feeling it, smelling it, and or seeing it. And I've seen them a couple times, but feeling washed, there's been times where I've been literally walked out of the woods, it felt like.
Okay, yeah, I've heard those.
Another time where my wife and I were walking, coming out of the mountains, coming down a logging road, up there in Gifford Pinchant National Forest, where we heard like growls, but it wasn't cougar, it wasn't bobcat. There's no wolves up in that area. The coyotes don't do that, but you'd hear like this,
okay,
to the right and to the left, and then to the right and then to the left again, and you just had this strange vibe, like I gotta move as fast as I can and get out of here. And you felt that type of a vibe before you even heard the grunts and growls. You just knew you had to keep going back down and get back to the house.
Did you ever have it where they were pounding on the trees with logs or sticks? Because I've heard those stories.
No, but I've actually done that up there a few times and would get zero response other than I did a few rock clacks.
Okay.
Which is, if you go up to Timothy Lake, around Mount Hood, Frog Lake sometimes, Clear Lake is another good spot to go looking if people want to go looking. But you'd hear coyotes go off, and then you get wood knocks. And I've had many of those type of responses up there around Mount Hood.
Mm-hmm.
But up there, I don't get responses back. It's like they're more aware up there.
Okay.
Down here in Oregon, it's like half of them are maybe a little dumb.
Okay.
They'll respond to stuff better down here, but up there in Washington, they don't respond back to you. That everything just, the second you hear anything, you make any type of sound out there, everything is like the entire forest died.
Wow, that's weird. That is really weird.
Unless you're in the wrong area, which, I don't know, that one time I thought I was like, when we got escorted out, I thought maybe we were in a breeding ground or maybe they had a youngster around.
Okay.
And we definitely got escorted out.
So they were being protective, you think?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I can see that. Do you believe that?
You'd hear the occasional, when we were walking down, you'd hear the occasional, like a small twig or a branch break. But it wasn't like super loud. You just hear like this little
right
type thing. We were like, oh, okay, gotta keep walking.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm looking around with flashlights. She's looking around with flashlight, and neither one of us saw a damn thing. But you still hear you'd still hear footsteps and the smell. Thank you. And the smell, and then gosh, never mind.
Did you ever have one go really close up
got
to?
off track. I'm talking to her at the same time. Dang it! Sorry, Neal.
It's okay.
Sorry, listeners.
It's all right. Now let me ask you this: did you ever have one that came really, really while you and your wife were asleep that maybe you thought got really close to your home?
I can't say that. Could you? Well, she's saying no.
Okay. Now, do you believe
No,
that?
but the dog barks off. The dog goes off all the time up there.
Yeah. Did you ever? Do you believe in the Patterson Gimlin film from over 50 years ago that was a real Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
Yeah. Patty? Yeah, I believe in Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do believe in that? I kind of do as well. I listened to a couple of shows. I love Bigfoot. And I
don't think there's nothing fake about that footage.
Right. It's not that, that I don't believe in Bigfoot, but of course, like many other people, they want to get some kind of more evidence. Like, I enjoy some of these shows that I watch. Like, I watch some of these Bigfoot shows. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Some of these guys that live in these woods, they are some of the smartest trappers I have ever seen. Like, I look at some of these traps that these guys make, and I said, oh my God, where does this guy come up with these ideas? It's like a MacGyver episode out in the woods, and then these guys, they come up with the greatest traps I've ever seen, and that's what actually sometimes I tune in for, to see what these guys are going to build today. Have you ever seen some of these shows?
I have. Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, well, Spirits by the Graveside.
Exactly. And your listeners believe in ghosts, and so do some of mine. And here's the deal. It was the mid-40s before we actually found gorillas. That was a myth. And we're still looking for Sasquatch. Why?
Good question.
Sasquatch is just like you and I. They're just hairy, big, tall bastards. Excuse my French.
That's all right.
You can delete that if you have to.
Oh, no. It's fine.
I think they are descendants of Gigantopithecus is what it comes down to.
Right. Now, has anybody ever captured a Bigfoot that you really, really believe that this Bigfoot was captured?
Absolutely not. When the last thing I know of was when Mount St. Helens blew up, 1980, May 18th.
May.
Yeah, May 18th, 1980, when Mount St. Helens blew up. If you look it up, there was a bunch of Sasquatch that was allegedly carried out by a couple of Hueys carrying nets, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
People can look it up. There's a lot of evidence out there. People need to open their eyes and look around their woods and look up to the skies, because there's a lot more than what we all are being told.
Sure, I agree with you, but
there's ghosts. I believe in aliens. I believe you'd be a fool not to believe in aliens, let alone Sasquatch.
Right. Well, listen, Ken, we're going to take a little break for a minute, and we'll be right back with Ken from Sasquatch Highway. Halloween's not dead, and neither is Graveside Paranormal. come on out to the Forge on October 31st for Spirits by the Full Moon for Halloween costume investigation at the Forge. 8 p.m. Halloween night. Oh, it's a full moon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're back. All right, Ken, let me ask you a question. In your opinion, where do you think Sasquatches actually came from, or Bigfoot? Where do you think, in your opinion, where did they come from?
I think they originated from Asia. Probably came across the old land bridge that used to be here, and I don't know whether it's global warming or whatnot, but they couldn't have swam here.
Okay.
I believe there's probably 5, maybe 7 different species of Sasquatches.
Now, go ahead. Now, can you give me some of the different names of those Sasquatches that you're talking about then?
Oh, gosh.
Please.
Other than Yeti, Sasquatch, and Bigfoot, the Yowie that lives in Australia, the Yarwin from Vietnam, and a couple other parts of Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, skunk ape.
Right. Now, do you believe that that's a misidentified creature that's not part of the Sasquatch, that's just a different animal that has really nothing to do with the skunk ape?
I think the skunk ape and the dog man are completely different. They're not related to a Sasquatch. They got completely, from what people show, at least from what I've seen anyway, they got completely different body configurations. We all probably still have part of the same gene pool.
Sure.
Which I think Sasquatch also has your and my gene pool somewhere in their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as anything else goes, I'm not an expert on that. I don't know. I'm looking like you and me and everybody else.
Right. You know, you're just someone who has a really large interest in something. Just like myself.
I've probably got a little bit more interest than a lot of people, and maybe a little bit more experience, but I don't know. I would recommend people would plug into like Jeff Meldrum, Sasquatch Chronicles, Atlas Bigfoot, and get a little bit more input. One of my friends, Cliff Rackman, just throw a name out there, has the Bigfoot Museum out in Boring. He used to be on Finding Bigfoot.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
And then Boba Fett, check him out.
Yeah, I've seen him. I believe he was on the Conan O'Brien show.
Yeah, he's a really goofy guy.
Yeah.
I love him, but he's a goofy guy.
That's fine.
But he's actually a pretty knowledgeable guy.
Oh, yeah, you know, there's a lot of people in the paranormal, cryptozoology realm, aliens, who, I have to be honest with you, we all have a little bit of weirdness to us. There's always something weird about each and every one of us.
I do. I definitely agree. Check out Dr. Meldrum if you're not aware of him.
Okay, I will check that out this weekend.
And I hope everybody else will, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, we all know about the abominable snowman. And is that a Bigfoot, do you believe?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've heard a lot of crazy...
Does anything exist?
Okay. Yeah. Does anything exist?
You and I exist?
Yeah, true.
We do.
Right. Yep. We certainly do.
Sadly, what it's going to come down to is that I think I don't want to do it. I would if my life was if my life was actually threatened. But what it's going to come down to is somebody's going to have to, I hate to say it, somebody's going to have to pop one and bring it down. And I would recommend if anybody actually does shoot one, that they take body parts and hair samples and hide them. And give some other pieces to other people and have them redistribute that. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem because it's going to get covered up. Everything gets covered up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Once the word gets out that something was caught or something like that, we get certain individuals who are notified, and then they start to come up, and then they start to set up a perimeter around the area and this and that. So, and that's what they do.
Everybody thinks, oh, well, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. None of that matters. The right wing and the left wing both come from the same bird. Everything's going to get covered up if they want it covered up.
Yep, definitely. Now, I remember seeing this video of this guy, okay? And he said he caught a Bigfoot. And he had the head of a supposed Bigfoot or a Yeti or a Sasquatch. And he said he froze it. I don't know if you've ever seen this video. So
I think I have. That guy's a spoofer.
Yeah,
just saying.
He is a nutball and a half. he's trying to. Yeah,
you do know who I'm talking about. Then
let me just.
You brought it up first. Sorry.
Yeah, just so people know, I'm looking at this video of this head, right? And you can see it's like totally like rubber and this and that. And this guy's going, well, this is frozen such and such. Look, this is part of the vertebrae. That looked like a ham bone that he had stuck in the bottom of that head. I'm like, come on, guy.
I think that ham bone still had hair on it.
Yeah.
He didn't skin or anything. It's just, I forget that guy's name, but that guy's a total hoster.
Yeah, he was out there, and he was saying he was coming up with a story and this and that. And a lot of people have come up with different stories and this and that. Now, one of the stories is that the Sasquatch goes through portals. What do you think of that?
Absolutely not. I think Sasquatch is flesh and blood, just like you and I. I haven't seen any portals. Have you?
No, I have not seen any portals. I've dealt with stories of portal hauntings, and I've dealt with those. Usually the portals.
Yeah, I do believe in that. But I think a Sasquatch is very much like you and I. You and I can't do that. I don't think they can. Maybe they can. They haven't told me. They haven't told you or anybody else.
No.
I don't know what happens in that dimension or with that, but as far as I know, I would not believe that they can.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and a lot of people, they believe that they came from an alien race. You know, and I'm just throwing out all the different theories that are out there about Sasquatch, but what's good about it is everybody's got their own thought about where Sasquatch originated from, what they're doing, why they're here. And it's good to get all that, all that input. But one of the important things, and like you're saying, is until one day we're able to really capture one and actually do some kind of a communication with the Sasquatch, that's all it is theory. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how to answer that one either. I mean...
Yeah, because you haven't captured one. Yeah.
No, I haven't caught one. I have no intention of that, but...
I mean, we would all like to one morning wake up and he's sitting on our porch and goes, hey, you got any coffee? And then you'd be like, hell yeah.
I'd like to be the first ones to have a fucking beer with them, excuse my French.
That's fine.
Did they come from an ancient world or an alien planet? Let's see. I think we all have in some way. I was raised Christian. I believe in the Bible. God created many planets other than this.
Right.
So did they come from here or did they come from another planet? My answer would be yes to all the above.
Right, and you know what? And that is definitely a story for another time about aliens and stuff. We've done stories on like that because I've talked about the large G small G equation, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's basically that aliens, that I believe that there is a God, of course, and that he made a race of beings, and then that race of beings then make a race, kind of like us nowadays. We're all of a sudden cloning things, so it goes from one higher up to another one, and then that one becomes a god, and then we become.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, so it's a progression. It's just like a progression through life. That's my opinion on that. But
you look backwards to get off topic for a second.
Sure.
You look back at your ancient Mayans, the Aztecs. We've already destroyed the planet once, and we're still here.
Right.
We're here for a reason.
Okay.
And we may or may not be stewards, but we should all take care of what we have now to preserve life and find other life.
You know, very well said. Very well said.
And if we can find Sasquatch,
cool.
That would even be better.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I would love to still wake up on them.
Look at Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Chewie. What was Chewie?
He was based upon Sasquatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why do you think that was? Because other people know more than what they're letting out, but we see it on movies before it comes out to reality. Mm-hmm. We see it on TV shows all the time, and it comes to reality. The flip phone. Where's the flip phone before you ever saw a flip phone?
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek. You saw your very first flip phone before you could even have a flip phone.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much out there that we're never being told, but it gets put in front of your face on TV or your cell phone before you even know what happened.
Now, do you think that Sasquatches are vegetarians or meat eaters?
I think they're both.
They're both? Okay. All right. And do you think they come out more at night, or do they come out in the daytime more? What do you think?
Mostly in the evening. That's when usually their main prey, which is deer and elk, are primarily coming out in the evening, coming out to forage. When most of their main predators, like the wolves, coyotes, wolverines, they're all sleeping. Those are day hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Deer and elk are coming out in the evening because they know that's usually the safer time. Sasquatch comes out right around the same time.
Okay.
Primarily in the evening to do their hunting, I believe.
Have you ever come across where, like, you're walking through the woods in the morning and you find a big footprint, and then you find a dismembered like wolf or a elk or a deer, and that footprint is there, and that body's all torn apart of that carcass?
I've never seen that. I've seen a couple footprints, and I can send you a couple pictures of that later too.
Sure.
But excuse me. As far as hunting, haven't seen any of that either.
Okay. Now, the difference between Yeti, Bigfoot, and Sasquatch or Abominable Snowman, it's basically the area that they live in. Is that what they're defined by their names?
Yeah, and then I believe that, but also because of different, what'd that be? Different heights above sea level. Also, kind of dictates what their sizes will be. Kind of like bees down here in Oregon. I don't know what type of bees you got down there, but bees down here in Portland, they're typically like a half inch to an inch long.
Okay.
But if you go up near Mount Hood, up in the mountains, or up into Washington, they may be a half inch bigger because of climate. we got to try to be a little bit bigger and get more food. Substance is everything, I guess.
Oh, of course.
I'm not sure how to say that, Neal.
That's fine. Now, have you ever heard in the area that you live in, because I'm sure you have neighbors somewhere down the road, of anybody ever being attacked by a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch?
No, but if anybody wants to look on even the BFRO in Washington or Oregon, which is where I actually live, but I spend a lot of time up in Washington, like 3-4 days a week. Excuse me.
That's fine.
There's tons of different reports. And I'm not going to name anything or anybody. Everybody should look up their own stuff on that. But all I can say, what I've seen and what I've shown you through pictures, and I will give you many more pictures.
Have you ever gone outside of your realm in Oregon to go anywhere else to try to look for Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
Oregon and Washington.
Okay. And you never like, take for instance, okay, my daughter the other day, she was coming home from Wisconsin, right? And there was an alert. It was a Sasquatch alert. You know, and it told campers, because it was really nice last weekend, right? She went out camping, and there was actually, I guess, a Sasquatch alert. And I guess they do have those. Do you guys get those in Oregon?
Well, I have never received one of those. I would love to get one of those.
Yeah, they actually put those out there, I guess, in certain areas around the United States, as well as I'm sure around the world, to be like a bear sighting. Be aware, keep on the lookout. They actually put that out there. My daughter called me. She goes, "Dad, you're doing a show on Bigfoot this week. Make sure you tell Ken that we had a Bigfoot alert as we were leaving the camp area over in Wisconsin." I said, "Get out of here." I go, "You're pulling my leg." She goes, "No, I'm serious." And she showed me the picture. And it's an actual alert. What's that?
What campground?
I don't know. I do not know. I couldn't tell you. All I know is that she told me that, and I was like, "Wow, that is pretty cool, man." I said,
"You better get a hold of me."
Oh, definitely, because she told me that.
If nothing else, I'll plug her into a couple other people that'll go out there and check it out, and they got financing.
Oh yeah, good. You got to have that finance. You got to get that equipment, and that's the other thing. You know what? We have all this equipment, all this.
My financing comes through my job, and that's called gas money.
Just to get in your truck and go, man, and get out there. I hear you. Well, you know what? I definitely want to do another show eventually, and we'll talk about some other things. I want you to plug away at your Facebook page. Ken has a Facebook page called Sasquatch Highway. It's a really cool page. That's how I came across Ken. When you start clicking on anything paranormal or anything like on Facebook, you start getting little things that like Bigfoot or aliens. Someone has a page about something, ghosts. So then I clicked on that, and I sent Ken here instant message, and he was very kind to get right back to me, and we had a great conversation right off the bat, man. It's like me and him have known each other before. We just got.
I think we have, Neal.
Yeah,
definitely distant brothers.
Yeah, distant brothers from another mother. Definitely, I hear you, bro. And it's a very interesting talk that we've had tonight, and I definitely want to bring you on again.
I got a lot more to share with you guys, and I will definitely get back to you soon, and hopefully you get back to me.
Yeah, of course. And for everybody out there, once again, go to Sasquatch Highway on Facebook. Check it out. Ken puts up a lot of cool things. He's going to be sending me some pictures. I'm going to be putting up on this broadcast. Once again, this is going to go on Sunday at 7 p.m., which would be 5 o'clock in Oregon time, 5 p.m., on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor FM. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,